Hi, everyone, and welcome, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro, along with Brian Westbrook, the Hall of Famer. It's our self-scout segment. We're trying to figure out exactly what happened on Sunday as the Eagles blowing a 17-0 lead to the Carolina Panthers. And, Brian, we're here to talk about an offense that was rolling in command after a long drive in the third quarter. And 180 degrees later, the Eagles had a loss. What in the world happened?
You know, as a player, this is what you hear from coaches all the time. You start fast, which they did last week against the Giants, getting the ball back, scoring early. In the last part of that, and I think they did a decent job of starting fast yesterday. Probably could put more points on the board. But the most important part, finish strong. And I think in this situation, when you're telling your team start fast, finish strong, it's about being aggressive. That means your play and your play calling as well. And I think yesterday we got a little bit timid offensively and defensively, allowed for a defeat.
But for the offense, in what way was the Eagles' offense timid, perhaps in its play calling?
Well, I just think that you can be a little bit more aggressive in your commitment to the run game. Of course, every running back says run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. But when you're up 17-zip in the fourth quarter, you want to run the clock. And I think Doug, as a play caller, he likes to throw the ball shorter passes to kind of take up for the lack of the run game. I think for the Eagles, it's pretty simple. Commit to the run. Even if you're getting 2 yards, even if you're getting negative yards, commit to the run. The defense has to respect it. That makes the passing game a little bit easier. I think we got away from that quite early in the game.
There were two instances in the fourth quarter that were disturbing from an Eagles offensive standpoint. 3-point lead, 4 minutes to go. This is the 4-minute offense that every team in the NFL works on extensively. What are you going to do in a 4-minute offense? What is your offensive identity? How are you going to take time off the clock? The Eagles didn't have an identity in that 4-minute sequence. They really just threw the football and hoped for a big play. Nothing happened.
Well, the goal of the 4-minute offense is not necessarily getting the first down. Of course, you want to get a first down if you can, but you want to run the clock down. Now you're in third and short. So you run the ball first couple of downs. Now you're in third and short. And maybe if you want to do a play action, an easy access play, so you can try to continue to run the clock. That's the most important thing. Yesterday, we kind of lost that mix just a bit, and that's not how you want to play football in this league.
And then the other one was late in the game, Eagles trailing, have the big penalty, pass interference against Carolina. 1st and 10 at the Panthers' 22-yard line, 2 timeouts left, minute plus left. Eagles unable to move the football, Brian, and that was really disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Carolina did, they understood how Carson Wentz wants to go to Zach Ertz. They started doubling him. It was a couple of situations late in that game where they began to double Zach Ertz just a bit. They're playing tight coverage on Alshon Jeffrey. And then some of the blitzes that they're running, our backs not picking up, they're doing different things defensively, got to us just a bit. A team, Super Bowl caliber team, you can't allow those types of things happen in the most critical part of the game, fourth quarter.
You know, it's not the run-pass ratio because we've harped on that in good times and not so good times here. But what it is, the Eagles are 21st in the league in running yards per game. There is not enough success running the football. Brian, can teams lose confidence? I'm not saying the Eagles have, but can they lose confidence in the run game?
Well, they certainly can lose confidence. And when you go back and watch the game, both Wendell Smallwood and Corey Clement both missed some big-time holes. These are chunk plays that they're missing, the cutback plays. They're not running with patience. They're not running with great vision. And when you see those holes, these are the plays that take you from 2-3 yards of carry to 4 or 5 yards of carry. You have to be able to take advantage of that. I can't blame everything on the offensive line. The running back has to have great vision and great patience as well. We missed a couple holes yesterday.
Offensively, this team has some big weapons. Alshon Jeffrey has become a go-to number one receiver. He makes big plays. He forces defense to account for him. Outstanding player on the outside. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert combined for 13 catches, 181 yards, and a touchdown, controlling the middle of the field, controlling the red zone. These are good things, and yet the Eagles just not getting enough complementary players into the action.
The hard part, if you're the quarterback, if you're the play caller, you're saying Zach Ertz is wide open on every play. I'm going to focus solely on him. And then as soon as you begin to focus on him, the Panthers said, okay, we know you're going to throw the ball to him. We're going to take that guy away. As the quarterback, play caller, you have to say, okay, take a look at Zach. take a look at Alshon. And if neither of those guys are open, now you have to check the ball down. Make sure you go to your first read, your second read, and then through your progression, you may have to end up with your third read. I think Carson needs to do a little bit better job with that as well.
And speaking of Carson, 30 of 37, 310 yards, 2 touchdown passes, great numbers. Overall, a really fine performance. And he was on fire. 15 consecutive completions at one point. Yet, you are looking late in the game for Carson Wentz to win it, and that's got to be disappointing to Carson, who is so ultra competitive that it didn't work out at the end of the game.
You know, unfortunately in football, it's not what you do in the first, second, third quarter, but it's what you do in the fourth quarter that kind of takes you from good to great. Carson Wentz has to continue to make those big-time plays in the fourth quarter. He will evolve into that. I think he has some potential there. He just has to figure out the right reads, the right situation, because as a team, you want Carson to take over the game. Those are the opportunities for him to take over the game, whether it's scrambling, whether it's getting on the edge, throwing the ball accurately. He has to make the right reads. Yesterday, he struggled in that department.
So 7 games in, the Eagles offense still very much up and down. Unfortunately, on Sunday against Carolina, down at the end, and the Eagles now 3-4 heading into Jacksonville's game in London on Sunday. For Brian Westbrook, I'm Dave Spadaro. This is Self Scout presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Thanks so much for joining us.